저는 하나님이 대한민국을 구할 거라고 믿습니다. In the 19th century, American missionaries came to Korea to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. The work that they did lives on to this day. America has been the best friend that Korea has ever had in modern times. American allied forces liberated Korea from colonialism and imperialism during World War II. Their blood was shed for democracy to flourish here in South Korea. Their blood was shed so that there could be a constitutional republic here in South Korea. And today, we fight for democracy. We fight for justice. We fight for the preservation of the constitutional republic of South Korea. What they could not completely win with bullets, they are using weapons like fake ballots. They are coming and bringing Chinese Communist Party influence into this country at a level never seen before. You had Chinese and Vietnamese nationals about vote in the last Korean election. There are reports that Wang Huning, one of the top leaders in the Chinese Communist Party, has been the mastermind behind election stealing. The Chinese Communist Party is #1 in the world in organ transplants because they murder their own people to harvest their organs. This is a country that is trying to dominate the whole world, even the moon and Mars. But Korea should not be a vassal state of China. Korea should, instead of being under the boot of the Chinese Communist Party, Xi Jinping is not the head of Korea. The Chinese Communist Party is not allowed to rule Korea. The Chinese Communist Party supports the worst totalitarian dictatorship in the world, namely North Korea. Over 90% of North Korea's economic interactions are coming from China. North Korea is the most unjust, evil, corrupt, and poorest country in the world. There is no human right that they do not violate. They violate all human rights.
그들은 모든 인권을 침해하는 나라입니다.
South Korea should not become like North Korea. Those in South Korea who want South Korea to become like North Korea should go live in North Korea. If North Korea is so wonderful, what are they still doing in this country? Why would anyone here in South Korea want to live in a country like that? But these precious freedoms and rights are being eroded here in this country. Some of the best leaders in South Korea who are willing to serve their country with all their heart are being persecuted in various ways. Starting from President Yoon. President Yoon saw the dangers from the Chinese Communist Party and from North Korea and the dangers of fraudulently stolen elections. And at great risk to himself, he declared martial law to gain evidence of the election fraud. He stepped out to awaken the sleeping people inside of South Korea. He was thrown in prison for 52 days of solitary confinement. And now he is in prison again. He is suffering in a small cell without air conditioning in the oppressive heat and humidity, getting the medicine he needs for his diabetes and shingles. they trying to kill him in there? This is a violation of human rights. This is cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment. This is no way to treat the president that you, the Korean people, chose through your votes. President Yoon should be released. Heroes like him should be respected and treated well for what they are doing for this country. President Yoon recognized the dangers of the CCP and North Korea, and he was strongly aligned with the United States of America. Almost 90% of South Koreans believe that the United States of America is the most important ally of South Korea. I do not believe the Korean people elected an administration that is pro-CCP, pro-North Korea, and anti-American. President Yoon wanted to wake the nation up in regarding election fraud. By cheating, you can put the worst people in office. The NEC is a criminal fraud organization. When I led the International Election Monitoring Team, the situation here in terms of elections was worse than we expected. We saw so many indicators of a badly run election that needs to be corrected. We are fully convinced that the last election, as other elections had been, was stolen. We wrote a report and we presented our findings in the National Press Club and in a congressional briefing. We have sent our report into the US federal government, including to the Director of National Intelligence and the Department of Justice. We also gave to the US government a list of heroes here in South Korea who should be protected from persecution. USAID fund the National Election Commission and AWEB, which are at the center of election fraud in Korea and around the world. Because US governmental money went to NEC and to AWEB, the US government has a right to investigate in depth into AWEB and NEC. And in the Mutual Defense Treaty between South Korea and the United States, Article 3 requires the allies to fight against cyber attacks. I would ask President Trump to expand his executive order investigating the 2020 US election internationally.
저는 트럼프 대통령께 꼭 여쭙고 싶습니다. 행정명령을 2022년 대선뿐만이 아니라 전 세계적으로 더욱더 넓혀주십시오.
The US has its best ally in the region and one of the best allies and friends that the US has in the world right here in South Korea. The US has a golden opportunity to be able to try to restore democracy and justice in South Korea. But the Korean people are not helpless in the face of these things. If the people of South Korea peacefully rise up, speak out, stand up, then there can be major change in your country. This is your country. This is your moment. Seize it. Someday, I believe, Lord willing, you will be able to tell your children and grandchildren about how you fought to save Korea. The question of the hour is Korea going to go the path of communization, or is Korea going to go the path of democracy, freedom, and justice? In the words of President Trump, it is time to fight, fight, fight! May the roar for justice and freedom and democracy be so loud from this peninsula that it will travel across the ocean and awaken America to what is happening. And may South Korea restore its democracy and become a model and example to the whole world.